welcome back to my channel. So today I want to show you how I made this little earring. We're going to make the mate to this earring, and it needs very few materials. It's just super duos. I've got a cymbal finding, and if you don't know what a cymbal finding is, it's findings that are made to coordinate with super duos and delicas to fit like seamlessly in here. So the finding I'm using, I'll show you the one for the other earring, is shaped like a super duo, and it's got a little loop on it. So that's going to be the loop where I'm going to attach my ear wire on. So if that's something you'd like to see, please hit the like button, come back, and we'll get started. Okay, so the materials are very few. All you need are about 12 super duos. I'm using a 4mm pearl. I've got the cymbal finding, and I purchased mine on Etsy. I've had it for quite a while. So if you're looking for these types of findings, you can check like Eureka Crystal Beads website or Fire Mountain Gems website or Etsy. That's basically where I do my bead shopping. I'm using a size 11 beading needle. You could also use a 10. I've got an ear wire here, and the color of super duos I'm using is called Orchid Aqua. It basically looks like a purplish color, but depending on which way the light hits it, it gives off a little bit of a blue tinge. So I've threaded my needle with a comfortable amount of thread. You're not going to need much, maybe about 2-3 feet of thread. And I'm going to start picking up my super duos. I'm not using a stop bead this time. You can if you feel more comfortable, but I'm going to, once I get these on, I'm going to sew them into a circle right away. So I'll pick up, let's see, 4. Then I'm going to grab my cymbal finding, which is shaped like a super duo, and then pick up 5 more. And this is what I have on my needle. I'm going to drop those down a little bit. Leave yourself just enough of a tail to sew in. And I'm going to sew through all the beads again. It's going to sew that into a nice little circle. It's going to look like a little flower. I'm going to sew around 1 or 2 times just to make it secure. And you're going through the bottom hole of that super duo. Trying to get my tail thread not caught. Just sewing through all the beads again. And trust the process. It's a little wobbly at first and a little wonky until you get all the beads situated the right way. And it'll be easier for you to do than for me trying to stay in frame. And I apologize if I've gone out of frame a little bit, but that's something I'm working on here. Okay, so I'm gonna go around one more time just to secure it and make it a little bit more firm. If you hear anything in the background, that's my cat doing calisthenics off the kitchen chairs. I'm filming at my kitchen table, and she's just having a ball. Make sure they stay the correct position here. Flip that over. Okay, and this is what you have. Go through a few more beads. Let's sew through one more. And I'm gonna look for the Super Duo across from the one I'm coming out of. I'm coming out of this one, so this one looks like the one I should use. I'm gonna pick up my 4mm pearl, and I'm coming out of the bottom here. I'm gonna go through the other side of the bottom of the one right across from it, so that kind of locks it in. Pull that. There you go. There's the center of your flower. And then I'm gonna go ahead and sew my tail thread in because it's getting in the way. So I'll be back after I sew that in. So I've sewn in my tail thread, and I'd advise you to do that too if you're gonna go ahead and make these, because it gets it out of the way and then you don't get tangled with your working thread. So I'm coming out of this bead here, the bottom of this bead. Now you got to stay in the thread path, so I'm going to go forward to this bead. I'm coming out. I'm going to go one more bead. Okay, so I'm coming out of the bottom, holding it like this, of this bead. I'm going to sew, turn around, and sew in to the top of that bead, going the other way, like that. All right, and I'm going to pick up another Super Duo, go through the next bead, the top of the next bead. Coming out of the top of this bead, I'm going to take another Super Duo. All right, and this is what you have. So we've got to snake around to come out of one of these top holes here. All right, so I'm gonna sew backwards just to keep in the thread path. I'm gonna go through the top of this Super Duo, through the top of the next one, if you can get it all at once, great. If not, do make it in 2 steps. Now I'm going to sew through the bottom of this Super Duo here, and okay, I'll do it one at a time. And then the top of this one. And then I'm gonna go backwards through the top of this bottom one here. And put my last super duo on, going through the top of the next. And there you have it. I mean, how fast and quick and easy was that? So I'm gonna sew around, you know, just to tighten everything up. Then I'll come back and put the ear wire on. All right, so I just went around, tied a few half-hitch knots, and burned my thread off with my thread burner. I'm gonna take my ear wire, open it up, slip it on that little loop there, close it up, and there you go. That's the quickest pair of earrings I've ever made. Now, could you make these without this cymbal finding? You absolutely could. You could find another way to make a loop here. I would try 15-ohs first, because that's a little bit more delicate of a bead than 11-ohs to make a loop between these super duos. So I would try that and use whatever ear wire that you like. So I hope that was helpful. If you enjoyed this video, I'd love it if you'd subscribe to my channel. It would help me out. And like I said, hit that like button, and I will see you on the next video.